Hi there, my name is Erica Miller. I am the owner-operator of Inspirit Healing Arts in North Liberty. I've been teaching meditation for a little over 20 years now, and one of the things that has stuck with me most, or a phrase that has stuck with me most throughout that time, is that prayer is the act of talking to God, and meditation is listening. So what I'm going to do today is just teach you a few foundational practices or techniques rather to add to a meditation practice so that you can also offer yourself this gift of listening to God. Many times we think we know what it is that we want in our lives or in the way in which we should move forward, and perhaps a lot of those times we continue to run into obstacles. And if we would just take the time or a little bit of time each day to listen, we might find that our path is more smooth. So I invite you to add meditation to your spiritual practice in a way that feels right and comfortable to you. And I'm just going to teach you a few foundational pieces here to begin. So I am actually seated upon a meditation cushion. It's called a zabuton. But you can actually also just sit in any comfortable seated position. If it feels better for you, you may also lie down. For me, I like to stay seated just because, so if we think of that act of listening to God, we can think of our spine or this space running through the center of the body sort of like an antenna. So in that way, there's just a little bit more energy, a little bit of more awareness and focus in our practice, where if we're lying down, sometimes that gets a little lost, maybe in some drowsiness. So I also like to keep a journal nearby and a pen just to, at times, if the mind is running too fast and it's like, oh, I just remembered XYZ, and your mind can't slow down enough because you're trying to hang on to that piece, just jot it down. Just write down whatever is on your mind, and then that way it's gone and you can come back to your meditation practice. So today, though, specifically, the use of this journal is I really would like for each of you just to take a moment to write down either a question or perhaps a creative endeavor or something in your life that you've needed to move through. So I'm just going to take a moment to write down my question for the day. And you can certainly take a moment to pause the video here if it's something that you need to reflect upon for a moment. But my question today is, how can I spread more joy in the world today? So I'm just going to let that question ruminate, and I'll teach you some meditation foundational pieces here, and we'll see what arises. So as I said, this act of sort of lengthening the spine or allowing the spine to reach upward really from the earth all the way into the heavens is a way for us to engage in that listening practice. You can either have your hands sort of resting gently on your knees or face up. If you're sitting in a chair right now, just make sure that your feet are planted either on the floor or perhaps just a step stool or a cushion, so that you have something that really connects your feet to the earth. So we just want that sense of being grounded all the way through the body. So the tail is going to be just slightly tucked, so that just means the pelvis sort of tilts down and forward just a little bit. So it takes a little bit of the curve of the low back out, sort of straightens out that space a little bit. We're going to do the same thing in the neck. So the head just comes back just a bit so that you're taking out some of that curve then in the cervical spine as well. So we're creating really just as much space here as we can within the spine. So there is a little bit of difference in the way that you hold your hands as to what it sort of represents in the body or in your mind. So if we're holding the hands up, it's really sort of this act of receiving, of listening. If we're putting our hands down, it's a little bit more getting sort of grounded, connected with self, slowing down. So if one of those speaks to you more than another today, please feel free to have either the palms face up or face down. I'm going to rest with my palms face up today so that I'm sort of listening to receive the answer to my question today. From there, we're just going to allow the eyes to close, and the first thing that I want you to do is just to begin to notice the movement of your breath. You're not going to necessarily change the depth or the speed. Just watch the breath as a witness. Begin to relax the muscles of your face, of the shoulders, the elbows. Let go of any tension in the wrists and the palms of the hands. Let go of the foundation of the spine and the hips, the knees, the ankles, soles of the feet, tips of the toes. Now I want you to begin to guide your breath just a bit. You're going to watch now the breath move from the lower abdomen all the way up to the shoulders. As you exhale, watch the breath move from the shoulders, traveling back down to the lower abdomen. As you begin to watch the breath in this way, keep the face as soft as possible, the shoulders as soft as possible. As the breath moves or ascends as you inhale, make sure that you're not allowing that movement to bring any tension into the neck or the shoulders. Now we're going to move into a breath that's called an Ujjayi breath, or an ocean sounding breath. If I were to have my mouth open, it sounds like this. It's a breath at the back of the throat. With my mouth closed, I'm going to just make it a little bit more, lift the volume up of it for just a moment here. It sounds like then as I quiet, this gives your mind a focal point. It allows your breath to be the mind's guide as it begins to slow down. So now begin to lengthen the breath, and I want you to make your inhalation just about the same length as your exhalation. So maybe it's comfortable for you to breathe in a count of 4, out a count of 4. Maybe it's 5 and 5. Maybe it's 8 and 8. It's really whatever's comfortable for you on both the inhalation and the exhalation. Continuing with that ocean sounding breath at the back of the throat. As you allow that gentle awareness to remain on the breath, make sure that you're allowing an ease across the face, the brows, the shoulders. I want you to begin to feel that as you focus on your breath in this way, there's a little bit of spacious awareness that begins to happen from the palms of the hands to the shoulders, and perhaps even now around the crown of the head. You want this practice to be joyful and open. So really enjoy your breath. I want you to begin to be aware of the space around the body so that it feels as if your whole body now is breathing in and out. As you breathe in, you're drawing clarity and energy. As you're exhaling, you're letting go of any worries, any cares, any thoughts. Breathing in clarity and spaciousness. As you breathe out, you're letting go. Begin to feel now that what is at the very center of the breath is the heart, the beat of your heart. So as you're breathing in, everything gathers into the point at the very center of the chest. And as you breathe out, there's an opening from the heart that happens throughout the whole body and perhaps even around the body itself, back into that space of spacious awareness. Easy breath into the heart and an easy letting go of the heart into the entire body. And as you hold this space lightly, I want you to either take your question or your creative endeavor, whatever it is that you wrote down today, and I want you to place that in the space of the heart, like an offering. And I want you to see this offering being given to God. That you're asking now that with your inhalation you are drawing clarity in. And as you're breathing out, you're letting go of anything that has stood in the way of the mind or the heart, seeing the answer clearly. And I want you just to stay in that space for a minute or two. Easy breath in and out, softness of the whole body. And perhaps now you use that question or that statement like a mantra or like a phrase that you can repeat within yourself that calls to God, searching for that answer. But a gentle searching, just an easy receiving. And you're welcome to stay in that state of awareness just as long as is needed. But when you feel ready, you can just allow the palms of the hands to rub together, creating a little bit of heat between the hands. And then you place the palms of the hands over the eyes gently and allow the eyes to gently open so that they are receiving the warmth, and it's just a gentle reawakening of the body, the breath. And just here, just thank yourself for taking the time to move through this practice today. So for me today, the answer to my question of how may I spread more joy in the world today was really just quite simple and beautiful, and that was just sharing a smile with others. So If nothing else today, I hope that you can also share that smile with others, and I hope that you've enjoyed taking the time to listen, and I also hope that this is something that you'll be encouraged to include into your own spiritual practice at home. Thank you so much for having me today. God bless.